There have been many fantastic tributes to Chadwick Boseman over the week. They all capture what a truly wonderful person and actor he was. And one thing I've heard praised over and over about Boseman was his work ethic. To me, that's one of the most underrated skill sets of an actor, and arguably one of the most important. As a public, we don't often focus on an actor's preparation for a role, and when we do, it's usually on the sexier parts, like physical transformations. That's not to say physicality isn't important when playing a part, but we often overlook the hidden work required to play a role. Instead, we focus on the final performance, when in reality that's more like 5% of the actor's job. The other 95% includes, but is not limited to, acting classes, watching other actors, living a full life, reading scripts, therapy, and lots of preparation. As Uta Hagen says in Respect for Acting, all tedious research is worth one inspired moment. Or as Stanislavski so eloquently puts it, an actor prepares. And Boseman definitely did prepare. Boseman has a theater background, so he's used to prep.
A thing that you learn in theater, when you're in theater, you sit down and you do your read through, you talk through scenes, you have rehearsals. Those are the things you usually find on stage.
So you got to sort of create that
for yourself on film.
As an actor, he had to tackle some of life's greatest characters, from Jackie Robinson in 42 to James Brown in Get On Up to Thurgood Marshall in Marshall. Playing T'Challa brought many challenges. He had to do justice to the hundreds of comics already written about the character, and as the first Black Marvel superhero, there's a lot of pressure on him to create an authentic and real person, and not just a stereotype. One part of an actor's preparation is that you have to ask yourself thousands of questions about your character to justify what choices are the right choices. For example, T'Challa's accent in the film was something of a debate in production. Producers thought it might turn audiences away, but Boseman stuck behind his reasoning for why it was needed.
I decided in my research that the Wakandans would speak with a click. They felt like, it was maybe too much for an audience to take. They felt like would people be able to understand it through a whole movie? And if we do it now, we stuck with it. And I felt the exact opposite. Like if I speak with a British accent, what's gonna happen when I go home?
Because that was the alternative.
Either British or just with my American accent.
Yeah.
That if we lose this right now, what else are we gonna throw away for the sake of making people feel comfortable?
Boseman took a deep dive into his background to prepare for T'Challa. He looked at every part of himself so he can use it and bring a true version of King T'Challa to screen.
It was a thing of, for me, how do I find that sense of culture? How do I, grab from my own history and past and DNA? And I used everything I could, from doing a few DNA tests
to find out where
you came
from.
Exactly where I came from.
Before South Carolina.
And playing the drums, African dance, incorporating African dance into the fighting.
What we have of Boseman are finished products. We don't have a film of the hours and hours he spent thinking about his character, or the choices that failed and the choices that eventually led to his finished product. So it's easy to overlook how committed he was to the work.
It's really a blue-collar job. You work overtime, you sweat, you get hurt. You're an athlete, you're everything that is necessary, and you're pulling from things that most people don't usually deal with. You're dealing with intimate parts of your reality, political parts of your reality, social parts of your reality that most people don't have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Race in a way people don't have to deal with, gender in a way people don't have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. You do it because you love it. You don't do it because of the reasons people think, I want to be famous. Nah, and that's not what it is.
It's interesting because that's never really articulated. The way we talk about acting, the way we talk about the business, we really don't talk about the workmanlike qualities within it, and how you really only actually act between action and cut like 10% of the time. The rest of it is prepping for it, to the wardrobe, the costume elements of it, the building the psychology and getting ready for the piece itself.
And working on yourself. And
actually
trying to
getting to act
Yeah.
is so, it's such a minuscule part of the experience that you have to love it that much.
Work ethic comes from a love of what you do, and it's clear from the work Boseman put in, he loved acting. A devoted artist, Boseman showed us inspired moments are worth the work. His success wasn't given, it was earned. He reminded us why we go beyond when we prepare, because it provides inspired moments that inspire us throughout life.